What is up, you guys? This is MiniSuperHeroes Today, and continuing on with my MCU countdown to Avengers Endgame, I'm going week by week through every MCU movie in chronological order of release, showing you a custom and regular minifigure showcase from every MCU movie in order. And we have finally gotten to one of my favorite MCU movies of all time, Ant-Man. I've always loved this movie. It has such a great little cast, and it really showed that you could take a small character, no pun intended, and turn it into an awesome action piece. So, like I said, it's a pretty small cast in this movie, so there's not a ton of characters, but I threw in a couple variants, and I went pretty deep and pulled out some of the, lesser characters in the movie, and we've got the full cast here ready to go. So, get comfortable and enjoy the rest of this showcase, because we're going to start with the main hero himself, Ant-Man. Alright guys, so as promised, I'm kicking things off with Ant-Man, who's my favorite character in the MCU. Captain America is probably my favorite superhero, but Ant-Man is just too darn cool, and I love everything about him. So, to build this figure, I used the legs, torso, and helmet from the 2015 Ant-Man. Of course, we're talking about the 2015 Ant-Man movie, so it only makes sense that we use that version of Ant-Man. But I've been doing this since 2015, and it seems like most people are really into this. I used the face from Space Batman, because as we all know, the helmet that's available for Ant-Man right now, there's a hole in the helmet right where the mouth was, and the reason that is because it was based on concept art for Ant-Man where he was going to have an exposed mouth like that. But in any case, I think when you use this Space Batman head underneath, it's really nice because he's kind of got that breathing apparatus there, so when you put this helmet over top of it, as you can see, it fills it in and makes it look like a complete helmet. So I really have always liked that look. And while I'm turning the figure on its side, you can see that the arms on the side here are from the collectible minifigure Surfer Guy, which I think are really good to add some red accent to his arms and really just bring the figure to a complete haul. So I really like this figure, I really like this character, and hopefully you guys feel the same way. So let's check out his alter ego, Scott Lang. Okay, so next up we've got Ant-Man's alter ego, Scott Lang, and the design that I went with is from when he breaks into Hank Pym's house. You'll remember that he had a hood on in this one image still from the movie. He had black gloves on, and then he had blue jeans and a blue top. So I really like the way that this looks. I did throw on the backpack from the collectible minifigure series Spy too, because I thought that it's nice and slick, it's a small backpack, and it adds just a little extra detail. So the black hood I pulled from the Emperor from Star Wars, but you can get black hoods in lots of places. I used the head from Poe Dameron from Star Wars, because I really like that confident smirk with a little bit of facial stubble, 5 o'clock shadow going on. And then I used this torso, which I'm not sure where it's from. On a previous video, I'm pretty sure somebody said it was from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I don't really have any of those sets, and I mentioned the last time I used this that I have no idea where this torso is from, so drop a comment below and let me know, because you guys are the Lego experts. I like to think I'm a Lego expert too, but hey, we can't all know everything, right? So I put some black hands on that, and then some dark blue jean pants on there, and with all of that, that's Scott Lang from the Hank Pym Home Bust-In. So I really like this figure, and let's move on to the next figure in this showcase. Okay, so next up, I made Scott Lang from his brief stint working at Baskin-Robbins. So I thought that this would be really funny to reference, and when I do my Instagram posts, I actually Photoshop this torso. I put a Baskin-Robbins logo right over that coffee cup, and then I cross out the name Larry, and I put in Scott. Sometimes I put Scott because, of course, this is Scott Lang, but in the movie, his name tag actually says Jack as a reference to Jack Kirby, who is one of the early Marvel creators. So, there's a little fun fact for you. I know a ton of fun facts about this movie because, like I said, it's my favorite. But we're not here to talk fun facts, unless you guys want to talk fun facts in the comments, but I need to get back to the showcase. So, in any case, I used the face again from Poe Dameron. I used the Superman hair in brown. I just like that wavy look for Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. I think that that's a good look. Then the torso and legs are from the Barista from the Lego Movie collectible minifigure series. The first Lego movie, that is. Then I switched out some tan hands on there to match the head. And speaking of the collectible minifigure series, I used this little Slurpee cup because if you remember, Scott Lang actually does take a little Slurpee cup. So, yeah, I thought that that'd be pretty cool. I guess it's not a Slurpee, it's a mango fruit blast if my memory recalls correctly. But in any case, here's Scott Lang from Baskin-Robbins. And speaking of Baskin-Robbins, let's take a look at our next figure. So usually I do all the main characters first, but since we were just talking about Baskin-Robbins, I thought I would make Dale, aka Scott Lang's brief boss from Baskin-Robbins. Man, I've mentioned Baskin-Robbins so much in this video, they should have paid me. But they didn't pay me, so in any case, let's dive into how to make this figure. So the hair is from the Lego Harry Potter collectible minifigure series. I can't remember the character's name, but I'm sure you guys will remember in the comments below. The face is from Venkman from the Ghostbusters. I just like that kind of smug face there. The torso is from the birthday boy from the Lego collectible minifigure series party packs. The arms are from the soccer players collectible minifigures packs, but they've come in several places. I just like those short sleeves to match. It looks like a manager who's rolled up his sleeves to go to work. And then the legs are just some plain khaki legs to give him a professional look. So I think that this is pretty cool, and I was actually really surprised because the tie that the guy wears in the movie is actually almost identical to this, and the dotted shirt is really similar too. So I was really surprised with how well this turned out, and hopefully you guys agree. So let's roll on to our next characters. Next up, we've got Scott Lang's adorable daughter, Cassie Lang. So this was a really fun figure to make, and hopefully you guys like it as much as I like making it. So the face is from Macy from the Lego Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom sets. The torso is from Hermione from Lego Harry Potter Dimensions. Then there's this pink skirt here, and the legs are just blue legs underneath, blue little kid legs, and the hair is just this long brown hair. So it's pretty simple to make, and I really think that it looks like Abby Ryder Fortston, who's the little girl that plays Cassie in the movies. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% sure where this hair came from, because I got it from Bricklink, so if you guys know any figures where that hair comes from, be sure to drop a comment below and let me know. So, let's roll on to our next figure. Alright, so next up we've got Maggie, who is the mother of Cassie Lang and Scott Lang's ex-wife. So the hair is from Hermione from Lego Harry Potter Dimensions, which actually we just referenced that in the last segment as well. The face is from Claire Dearing from Lego Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. The torso is from Lego Dimensions from Tina Goldstein, and then I just gave her some khaki legs. So it's a pretty simple figure to build, just a lot of pieces moving there, and hopefully you guys like it. So let's keep rolling. Alright, so next up we've got Paxton, who's the police chief and Cassie Lang's stepdad. So I really like this character in the movie, and I really like the way that this custom minifigure turned out. I used Superman's hair up top to give him this wavy black hair. I used the hands and face from Dean Thomas from the Lego Harry Potter collectible minifigure series to give him this nice big grin because, hey, he loves being a cop. But speaking of which, he's a cop, as I've said a few times already, but he never really has a police uniform on, so to give him kind of a casual look but ready for action, I used this torso from the Lego Star Wars Freemaker Adventures. This is also from this most recent advent calendar for Star Wars, and then I used these khaki pants with these legs on here, which I always associate with Luke Skywalker from Bespin, although they've never actually been used for that purpose. So let me know what you think of this figure, because I really like the way that it turned out. I'm pretty sure that he's never going to have a character made of him as Lego, so this might be the best we ever get. So like I said, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Alright, so next up we've got one of my favorite characters in this movie, Hope Van Dyne. I really like the way that this custom turned out, and I can't wait to start breaking it down for you right now. So the legs are from Scarlet Witch from Avengers Age of Ultron. I really like that business casual look where she's got this black skirt on with black shoes. I think it looks really good. The torso is from Pepper Potts from Iron Man 3 from 2013, and once again, I think that it complements the business casual legs very, very well. The face is from Tina Goldstein from Lego Harry Potter collectible minifigure series. I really like those dimples, and that confident smirk looks a lot like Evangeline Lilly in my opinion. Then the last thing that you'll need is this short Bob Pageboy haircut, which I pulled from Ivana Spalko from the Lego Indiana Jones sets from years and years ago, but it's shown up in several places like on Edna Mode and places like that, so this hair works really well for this version of Hope Van Dyne. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think, and while you do that, let's check out her dad, Hank Pym. Okay, so next up we've got Hank Pym, and if you watch my videos, you'll know that Hank Pym is my all-time #1 favorite comic book character across any medium. I just love his backstory, his history, and of course seeing him in the MCU played by one of my favorite actors, Michael Douglas, kind of feels like Marvel is pandering to me. So in any case, to break down my Hank Pym figure, I've done this figure in a couple of different places, like my Ant-Man and the Wasp showcase from last summer, in my Hank Pym video, but if you guys haven't seen those, you can find out how to build them right now. So the hair is from the Lego Batman movie collectible minifigure series version of Commissioner Gordon. The face is from Dumbledore from the Lego collectible minifigure series version of Dumbledore from Harry Potter, sorry, getting twisted on my words. The torso I got at the Lego store at the Build a Minifigure part, but this torso originally debuted in the Monster Hunter sets with this little pocket watch there. I think that vest and tie looks good for Hank Pym. And then I took the yellow hands off and put tan hands on that. And then the legs are khaki legs from just about anywhere. So that's my version of Hank Pym. So let's start breaking down Ant-Man's friends, shall we? Alright, so next up we've got Luis, who's one of everybody's favorite characters from Ant-Man, and mine included. So the torso and legs are from the security guard from the Lego DC sets and from some Lego Marvel sets over the years. Now, this isn't entirely accurate to what Luis looked like on screen, but I wanted to be fair to you guys and make a custom that I think you guys could actually make rather than use pieces that would be super difficult. So hopefully you guys don't mind that little compromise, and that's that. So I used the black Superman hair up top because that's becoming pretty common these days. And then for the hands and head, I pulled these from Tasu Leech from the Star Wars Force Awakens version of the Millennium Falcon. I really like this little goatee, and I think it looks a lot like Michael Pena that plays Luis in Ant-Man and in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So let's check out the rest of Ant-Man's crew. Okay, so up next we've got Dave, who is played by the rapper T.I. This is a pretty simple figure to build. I used Franklin's torso from the Lego Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom line. I used the head from Falcon from Avengers Infinity War, but flipped around to get this nice little smirk. I matched that with some African American hands so that they matched up there. I used some black legs, and I also used Falcon's hair. So, a super simple design for a really funny character from the movie. Alright, so next up we've got Kurt, the last of the wombats as they call him in this movie. And he's the guy that talks like this. So he's also the guy from Ant-Man and the Wasp that says, like Baba Yaga. So, in any case, I think this is really cool and it's very simple to make. The legs and torso are from Knight Rider from Lego Dimensions, and the hair and head are from Detroit Steel from the Lego Marvel set that came with Coulson and Iron Man. So, a really, really quick and simple figure to make that I really like. So, let's keep rolling. And like I always try to do, here's a surprise figure. Howard Stark from the beginning of the movie. So you'll remember that they had Howard Stark at the beginning of the film, and he'd aged quite a bit. So to make this version of Howard Stark, I used the legs and torso from J. Jonah Jameson from the Lego Spider-Man sets, and then I used the head and hair from Percival Graves from the Lego Harry Potter collectible minifigure series line. I really like that, and I think that it makes for a really good version of Howard Stark, so drop a comment below and let me know what you think. I hope you like this surprise figure, because we've only got a few figures left until we wrap up this showcase. Okay, so next up we've got the main villain of the movie Yellow Jacket. And while he wasn't exactly the most menacing villain, he was still pretty cool, and his Lego minifigure is just as awesome. So I used the legs, torso, helmet, and the head underneath, and most of the backpack from the original Yellow Jacket from the 2015 Ant-Man set, because I thought that it looked really good. But I did make some minor upgrades, so let me show you what those are right now. So if you remember, the 2015 Yellow Jacket had stud shooter guns that were in these little rivets here, but instead I used these gold horn pieces because I thought that it looked a little bit more menacing and a little bit more Lego friendly. Those guns were pretty ugly, and it made him kind of top heavy. Well, he's already pretty top heavy, but it made it even worse, so this kind of equaled that out and made it a little bit more, I don't know, maybe realistic is the word I'm looking for. So the other thing that I did were on the arms here, I used these gunmetal gray arms with this black printing from the Forest Knight from the Lego Collectible Minifigure series, and then I used the tried and true handcuff trick, which is where you take a pair of handcuffs, you cut off the cuff in the middle, and then you put both pieces onto a figure to add some gauntlets to them. So it's a pretty simple little method that makes your figures look a little bit better, and in this case, I think it gives a major upgrade to Yellow Jacket. Okay, so next up we've got Yellow Jacket's alter ego, Darren Cross, who is literally just Lex Luthor for the sake of this video. Because everybody knows the most menacing bad guys are bald guys in suits. We've got Darren Cross, we've got Lex Luthor, we've got Obadiah Stane from the first Iron Man movie, so yeah, that's kind of the way it works. Oh, and who can forget the Kingpin? So, anyways, this is just Lex Luthor from the LEGO DC sets, and nothing more to add there. So, let's move on to our last figure before I give you my final thoughts on this showcase. Alright, and as far as details and surprises go, I take the best for last here with my design of Falcon. I freaking love this design, you guys. It is so great. So, the head, hair, and wings are from the Civil War version of Falcon. I wanted to use those because those are the most accurate to what we see in Ant-Man, because Civil War takes place not too terribly long after the first Ant-Man movie. The torso is from the Avengers Infinity War version of Falcon, because when you compare the Civil War version and Infinity War, the Infinity War version is darker and just looks a lot more accurate to what we saw in Ant-Man. So then the arms are from Barbara Gordon from the LEGO Batman collectible minifigure series with some black gloves there, and while the skin tone here doesn't match the skin tone on his head, I still think it looks pretty good, and honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. Then the legs I used are from the collectible minifigure series Spy, and when you put all that together, I think it makes for an amazing, amazing Falcon. Wouldn't you guys agree? So, let's wrap this showcase up, and I'll give you my final thoughts on my figures from the movie Ant-Man. Alright guys, well I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase as much as I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun and I hope that you guys have enjoyed it, and I guess you did because you're here right at the very end. So, drop a comment below letting me know which of these figures is your favorite, and let me know how excited you are for next week's showcase, Captain America Civil War. Let me know if you're Team Iron Man or Team Cap, and I'll see you guys on next week's video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because your support really helps a lot on this channel, and I'll see you guys next week. So, until next time, build on. If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, feel free to click that subscribe button for more LEGO content coming in the near future. So, thanks for tuning in to today's video, and until next time, build on.